Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Knights Forever. This is a game played on FAF beta between Alegnagyobbkiraj, however you say it, Aleg, and Kaiser. Goddamn names. How do they work? I'm more used to reading them than saying them. Seraphim for Kaiser, Cybern for Alec, and we're on Loki. One change in the beta, which is actually missing from the patch notes currently, is that civ buildings have been changed slightly, so they will always give some mass, anywhere from about 50 or 60 mass to up to maybe 200 maximum, I would say. Now on Loki, buildings don't give mass because of some map script, and yeah, so you can't actually get any reclaim from these anyway, even in beta. Great foresight from the map maker who created Loki to do that, so that the map would never be, well, dominated by reclaiming civilians. Got an engineer here doing the old lazy reclaim. Give one order and then give an attack move. You just have to be careful that the engineer doesn't circle back up and start reclaiming trees, which can definitely happen. Over here we have some manual reclaim. Attack moves can, well, you sort of tend to leave them there longer and delay the mexes, so he's just gonna get the mexes quickly and also get reclaim quite efficiently. So you can see here, Kaiser will probably stay here longer, reclaiming with the attack moves before going onto the mexes, just because attack move gives you such an amount of range that you kind of don't want to move those guys. Alec on second land, he's already built his factory and he's starting his third air. Kaiser slightly behind in terms of when he's beginning this factory. You can see he has 1000 more energy reclaim and 120 more mass reclaim. 20 build power building this air factory. Alex is already done, so that's a nice build order he has at the minute. If we look at expansion, similar times. Oh, Kaiser, what are you doing? All these reclaim orders, that will get like maybe a half or a third of what's here. Let's see. Well, it's difficult to see, but there are rocks left behind. Quite a few. See how the attack move guy is going. Ooh, look at that. Actually clean up everything quite quickly. So manual reclaim maybe not the way to go for these rocks. As long as the NG doesn't circle back, as I said. 4 factories complete. Kaiser also 4 factories complete, and then goes into a T2 mechs very quickly, assisted as well, because you should assist your mechs upgrades. So makes almost twice as fast, not quite twice as fast. This guy is looking for the expanding engineer, and he's gonna try run down the mantis because he has a Selene with him. So, and now some dodging back and forth, attempting to kill the mantis. Ooh, that was just beautiful. Now we have another fight here. This guy's already injured, so not sure what he killed, but that's a 1-for-1 trade, and the engineer survives for now. This guy, how did he kill everything? Just great micro, running away from the mantis and dodging back and forth was actually enough. But places a wall segment, because sometimes if you give a reclaim order on that rock that's there, it should still be up here. sometimes it reclaims like a tree underneath it or something and you don't get the rock. So if you place a wall segment or anything directly on top, you will get the mass. This factory is denied and it's so close to completion. That was 95% or something, maybe more. This is a place you do not want to get raided. So this factory is very important because it's going to build engineers which reclaim these rocks. There's quite a lot of rocks here, small ones and a few chunky ones, and also there's a lot of trees to reclaim here. So Aleg missed a trick. He should have repaired this factory with the mantis, because it was actually very close to completion. And even if you see it loses HP, it's down low on HP, but it's still extremely close to completion. Then it would complete, and then after a few seconds, and then it will regen back. So maybe he thinks it's far from completion because it took damage. Already we have expansion to the bottom. Was there a transport somewhere? A drop perhaps? Because there's a lot of build power in this area, but I don't see any transport from Aleg. We have 3 bombers, and he can see T2 land and 2 T2 mexes from Geezer. He has 2 mexes of his own, and he has 3 air factories, all of which are now paused, so there is a difficulty of power here. He doesn't have any of this tree reclaim, and he's just expanded to basically get all of his half of the map. So he has a lot of mass and now desperately needs more power. This bomber doing some damage. I think he killed an engineer building this factory with it, so Geezer is very far behind in terms of expansion now. The bomber just killing some tanks, not doing too much. So maybe not the best use of these bombers. They're kind of getting killed. He's now trying to chase down the interceptors to win air, but there's flak just came out of this T2 HQ. Geezer baits Aleg into that, and Geezer does well out of it. Now they have even numbers, and worse even for Aleg. He's taking free damage. It's indeed just farming some vet, and actually Aleg only leaves with 2 interceptors, so the bait worked very well. Maybe Aleg should have turned around and fought there sooner. And the chicken bots step across the map, this very powerful force. You can see even the mantis get close, but there's simply not enough to chew through that large amount of HP. The PDs get thrown up by these reclaiming engineers. Some raid gets passed, but it's minimal damage. And on the other side, ooh, again reclaiming engineers throwing PDs up. That's a T2 transport with 2 kills, in fact. Doesn't happen often. And what was he dropping? And where? Was he dropping his ACU? His ACU has no upgrade. So although this survives, these 2 mexes are now dead, thanks to the chicken bots, and no T2 land from Geezer at all. Or Aleg, I should say. He's making mexes. He's actually got an engineer over here and is stealing the mexes, which is a great move. It's not gonna have them for long, but any amount of time you have them is just brilliant. 4 Ilshavo get dropped in, and there's only some PDs to stop them. They shoot straight over the walls. Ilshavo are very proficient at taking out T1 PDs, one of the reasons why they're so good. And they're just these three guys and a flak, and actually quite crucially a Celine are very difficult to move out of this area. They're just still denying these mexes. So without the Celine, these Ilshavor are much worse. They can't see anywhere nearly as far as their range allows them to shoot. And Alec is building, just surrounding them slowly with PDs so they can't get away. And Alec is actually in a terrible spot right now. He's trapped by the land. There's a large force which he cannot deal with, and he's getting the T2 upgrade while being torped. He needs to make stealth. And is he actually taking damage from the ground fire? No. Kaiser is ground firing, attempting to ground fire Aleg's commander in the water, but he's too deep. But he is going to die to torp bombers while a T2 drop full of Mantis kills a couple of T2 mexes. And Aleg is just dead. His inties didn't even react until now. Oh. Well, that's sad. He's doing quite well. This drop was nice from this was a T2 mex before that was killed. The compositioning is very poor by Alec, but if he had gotten stealth, then he's basically, it's not possible to spot him anymore. So Kaiser would just have to kill the torp bombers which had already targeted him. I think they would keep their orders. But yeah, if Alec had stealth, it would be actually fine to even be aggressive here. He could just dip into the water and be on the scene, because T1 air scouts can't spot stealth underwater stuff. Yeah, Alec was doing well. He was denying this for so long. And his eco is looking pretty good. These mexes are very vulnerable. Actually, there was an attempt to drop here. We have 2 Ilshavor, 4 T1 tanks. These guys just camping these mexes, denying them forever. It's quite cool. So anyway, I might cast more games. These guys played quite a few games recently. I think I'll cast another one of them. There was a particular Loki game. If you want to find it between these two, I'll probably cast that one later. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.